They say childhood is filled with sunshine and laughter. But for William Tyrrell, a bright September morning turned into a nightmare. 1 minute, a playful giggle echoed through his foster grandma's house. The next, silence. Vanished. His favorite Spider-Man suit lay untouched. Did a little boy in a Spider-Man suit simply disappear, or was something far more sinister at play? Let's uncover the chilling mystery of William Tyrrell's disappearance. Before we dive into today's video, make sure to hit the bell icon so you don't miss any updates. We upload daily. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and join our amazing community. Now, let's get started.
Police emergency, this is Simone.
Yeah, hi, my son is missing for 3.5. He was just playing around here, we heard him, and then we heard nothing. He'd be about 2.5 feet. He's wearing a Spider-Man outfit, and we heard him roaring around the garden, and then I thought, I haven't heard him, I better go.
On 11 September 2014, 3-year-old William Tyrrell, who was born on 26th June 2011, went on a trip with his foster parents and his 5-year-old sister. They traveled for 4 hours from Sydney to visit his foster grandmother. Her house is on Benaroon Drive in Kendall. This house is right across a small road from the Kendall State Forest, which is about 35 kilometers south of Port Macquarie. Between 10 a.m. and 10:25 a.m. on 12 September, William Tyrrell and his sister were playing hide-and-seek in the front and back yards. Their foster mother and foster grandmother were sitting outside watching them. William's foster mother went inside to make a cup of tea. She got worried when she didn't hear him for 5 minutes and started looking around the yard and house. Soon after, William's foster father came back from his work to Lakewood and began searching the street and knocking on neighbors' doors. At 10:57 a.m., William Tyrrell's foster mother called emergency services to report that he was missing. The New South Wales police force arrived at 11:06 a.m. The last thing his foster mother remembered was William was wearing a Spider-Man costume, pretending to be a tiger roaring while running towards the side of the house. Then it went quiet, and he was gone. His foster mother searched for him, but she couldn't find him anywhere. A frantic search began. The bushland surrounding the house was scoured. Police, volunteers, and the local community combed every inch, hoping to find a clue, a sign of William's whereabouts. Hundreds of people joined the search for William Tyrrell, including police, members of the state emergency service, the rural fire service, and the local community. They searched day and night. Specialist police such as the sex crimes squad from Strike Force got involved. Motorcycles and helicopters were used in the search. 200 volunteers searched overnight, and many people explored the rough terrain around the home. Police divers searched the waterways and dams. Police checked every house in the neighborhood around Benaroon Drive multiple times. Sniffer dogs were brought in to detect William's scent, but only within the boundaries of the backyard. Strike Force Roseanne was set up with specially trained investigators from the State Crime Command who had experience with cases involving the unexplained disappearance of young children. They helped support the police, other emergency service workers, and members of the public who were involved in the search. After 5 days of searching, the police announced that they had not been able to find any leads. Days turned into weeks with no trace and clue of the missing boy. The initial theory, that William had wandered off and gotten lost, began to fade. The police later started looking into finding the drivers of 2 cars that were seen parked on the dead-end road the morning William disappeared. One car was described as a white station wagon, and the other was an older-style gray sedan. These cars were parked between 2 driveways on the acre lot of land. Their driver's side windows were down, and no one in the neighborhood knew them. This area was a place where locals knew each other well and were considered friends. William's foster mother noticed these cars, but they have not been seen again since he went missing. The police are suspicious of these vehicles because there was no clear reason for them to be parked on that street before William disappeared. During the investigation, it is found that at 9 a.m., a green or gray sedan drove past the Benaroon Drive house while William and his sister were riding their bikes in the driveway. The car entered the dead-end road, turned around in a neighbor's driveway, and then left the street. Additionally, a 4WD vehicle was seen driving out of Benaroon Drive around 10:30 a.m., which is around the time William went missing. This same 4WD was later spotted speeding down another street in Kendall. The police have known about these cars since they began their investigation. However, as part of their strategy, they did not share this information with the public until 12 months after William disappeared. The police didn't found any evidence against William's family of their involvement in his disappearance. At first, they thought that an opportunistic stranger who might be connected to a pedophile ring had kidnapped the boy. Initially, they also believed that William could still be alive and held by a group involved in pedophile activities. However, they no longer think that the kidnapper is part of such a ring. investigators have interviewed many people, including several pedophiles. According to A Current Affair, about 20 registered sex offenders were living in the area around Kendall, where William went missing. Two people who are considered important in the case are both convicted of crimes involving children. They might have met on the day William disappeared. The family of one of these people, who had a long list of convictions related to harming minors, said he planned to meet with another person also convicted of child-related crimes that day. He came back home drunk that afternoon, but told the police he spent the day in the bush collecting scrap metal. It was reported that both men lived in Kendall and drove cars similar to the ones seen near the Benaroon Drive house when William vanished. They were also both part of a group called GAPA, grandparents as parents again, and were friends. The police questioned both of them, and they strongly denied being friends or having anything to do with William's disappearance. Another man who fixed a washing machine at the Benaroon Drive house was facing unrelated child sex charges from the past in Victoria. He was supposed to go to court on July 4th, 2016. The police had accused him of several child sexual offenses, including indecent assault and having sexual relations with children between 1983 and 1985 in Victoria. In September 2015, he posted a video online denying any involvement in William's disappearance. He wasn't at Benaroon Drive on the day William went missing. Later, it was confirmed that he was somewhere else that morning, and all the charges against him for the non-fictional offenses were dropped. He sued the New South Wales police force for damages, saying they abused their power and wrongfully prosecuted him. In December 2022, the Supreme Court of New South Wales ordered the police to pay him $148 million plus interest. They found that the lead detective, Gary Jubilin, had wrongly targeted him, and that the charges of historical sex crimes were made up just to pressure him into confessing to William's disappearance. In 2021, during an investigation, a woman named Tanya shared her story. She said that two brothers she used to babysit told her something troubling. They said they were scared because they saw a local man burying a suitcase. The man told them that the suitcase had William's body inside. In the 2 years following William's disappearance, the investigation team received over 1,000 reports of possible sightings. One report included a photo taken in Queensland showing a man and a young boy who looked a lot like William. But just a day later, someone called to confirm that the boy wasn't him. In early 2015, two passengers and a flight crew member on a plane bound for New Zealand thought they saw William. The police met the plane when it landed, but found out it wasn't him. Another photo showed a young boy and a woman at a McDonald's in central Queensland. The boy resembled William, and the woman looked like his grandmother. However, the police later confirmed that they weren't William and his family. On September 16, 2014, Strike Force Roseanne started to look into William's disappearance. It had 14 detectives and analysts who worked full-time on the case. They went through hundreds of pieces of information that people sent in. The investigation got more intense after William's parents made a personal request to members of Parliament, including the Deputy Premier and Minister for Justice, at a private event in late 2015. A spokesperson for the family said that the police still believed William could be alive and asked the public to keep looking for him. This investigation became the biggest in the state. It involved lots of analysts, investigators, and two special teams, Roseanne led by the Homicide Squad and Roseanne 2, which got help from the Armed Holdup, Sex Crimes, and Fraud Squads. On September 12, 2016, which marked the second anniversary of William Tyrrell's disappearance, the New South Wales NSW government made a big announcement. They offered a whopping $1 million reward for any information leading to finding William. This reward was the largest ever offered in NSW's history for finding a missing person. It was twice the amount of the previous highest reward, which was $500,000 set for the case of Michelle Bright, a teenager who was murdered in 1999. Typically, rewards like this are given out with a condition. The person providing the information must help arrest and convict the person responsible. However, in William's case, there was an extra condition added. Not only did the information need to lead to catching the person responsible, but it also needed to lead to finding William himself. Since William Tyrrell went missing, the case has sparked a huge response from the public. Over 2,800 calls were made to NSW Crime Stoppers alone, which is a record number for a single case. The police have been very active interviewing over 1,000 people and creating a staggering 11,000 documents related to the investigation. The search for William has extended far beyond Australia, reaching as far as Europe and the US. The Australian Federal Police have reached out to Crime Stoppers websites in 26 countries asking for help in spreading the word about William's disappearance. The police have identified 690 people who could have information relevant to the case, and they've brought in specialized teams within the State Crime Command to investigate. Some of these people are considered low-priority targets, while others are being questioned more intensively by a team called Strike Force Roseanne. There's even speculation that the police may have already spoken to the person or people involved in William's disappearance, showing just how thorough their investigation has been. On June 12, 2018, the police made a big announcement. They said they would be doing a thorough search in the bushland around Kendall. This search would be very detailed and involve experts from the Public Order and Riot Squad. It was expected to take 3 to 4 weeks. Then, on November 15, 2021, the NSW police shared some important news. They had received new evidence, so they were starting another search for William Tyrrell. This time, they were focusing on 3 areas near Kendall. They were looking with the belief that they might find William's remains. At the time William disappeared, he was in foster care, which meant his biological parents couldn't be named publicly due to legal reasons. This law stopped them from being identified or holding press conferences to appeal for help in finding their son. However, on August 24, 2017, the New South Wales Supreme Court of Appeal decided that William's case was important for the public to know about. They said that because he disappeared while under the care of foster parents, it was a matter of legitimate public interest. Before this ruling, William's parents were only allowed to speak in a 60 Minutes interview, but they couldn't show their faces. This condition was set to protect their privacy. The father of Daniel Morcombe, a teenager who was tragically murdered, spoke out against the NSW government's decision not to let William Tyrrell's parents talk publicly about their son's disappearance. He believed that allowing them to speak could have helped gather crucial information for the police to follow up on. There were concerns that this decision might have made it harder for the police to investigate during the critical weeks after William went missing. However, the NSW government defended its decision, stating that their main priority is always the safety and well-being of children. They emphasized that they wouldn't do anything to risk ongoing police investigations. Despite the efforts of many searches and forensic tests, as of June 2023, the police still don't know what happened to William Tyrrell. Detective Inspector Gary Jubilin back in June 2015 said that finding William was a top priority for the NSW police force. They were treating the case as if William was still alive until they had proof otherwise. In February 2016, a police spokesperson said that William's case was one of the biggest investigations run by the homicide team. They hadn't lost hope of finding him alive. However, Detective Chief Superintendent Darren Bennett on November 15, 2021 admitted that they were now searching for William's remains. In April 2022, William's foster mother was charged with giving false information about his disappearance. But in November 2022, she was found not guilty. Then, on June 27, 2023, police recommended charging William's foster mother with perverting the course of justice and interfering with a corpse. They suspected that she might have hidden his accidental death and disposed of his body. The search for William Tyrrell continues, a beacon of hope refusing to be extinguished, despite the agonizing years that have passed his foster parents, and the community haven't given up. New leads, however small, are relentlessly pursued. The reward for information leading to William's whereabouts stands strong, a silent plea for anyone to come forward with answers. William's story isn't just a mystery. Have you ever wondered what happens when someone simply vanishes into thin air? Imagine waking up one day, going about your routine, and then gone. No trace, no explanation, just an eerie void where a person once stood. In this YouTube video, we embark on a journey through the chilling world of mystery disappearance of Kristen Modafferi. This isn't a story from movies or TV shows. It's real-life enigmas that have left investigators scratching their heads and loved ones grappling with endless uncertainty. In the bustling streets of San Francisco, a girl named Kristen Modafferi disappeared suddenly. She was just a young woman, full of dreams and hopes, who came to the lively city for some fun. But her adventure turned into something much scarier. She vanished without a single clue. Everyone was stunned. People across the country couldn't believe it. Kristen's story gripped their hearts, leaving behind a lot of questions and mysteries nobody could solve. She was only 18, with her whole life ahead of her. But, in the blink of an eye, she was gone. As time passed, Kristen's vanishing became more than just a puzzle. It became a huge mystery that nobody could figure out. People came up with all sorts of ideas about what might have happened to her. Did someone hurt her, or did she decide to disappear on her own, tired of the world's pressures? Join us as we delve deep into the complicated web of secrets surrounding Kristen Modafferi's disappearance. We'll explore hidden meetings and shocking discoveries, taking you on a journey that will stick with you long after it's over. Get ready for a roller coaster of emotions as we uncover the truth behind one of the most confusing disappearances ever. Kristen Deborah Modafferi was born on June 1, 1979, in Danbury, Connecticut. Her mother Debbie, who worked as a teacher, and father Bob Modafferi, who was an electrical engineer. Kristen grew up in Charlotte, North Carolina. In 1997, after completing her freshman year at North Carolina State University on a Park Scholarship, Kristen embarked on a solo journey to the San Francisco Bay Area for the summer. Her purpose was to study photography at the University of California, Berkeley. Using Craigslist, she found a room in a house on Jane Avenue in Oakland, where she lived with 4 male roommates. She found part-time employment at the San Francisco Museum of Modern Art and a full-time job at Spinelli's coffee shop in the Crocker Galleria Mall in San Francisco's financial district. On the sunny afternoon of June 23, 1997, just 3 weeks after her 18th birthday, Kristen finished her shift at Spinelli's around 3 p.m. She casually mentioned to her co-workers that she was considering about to visit Baker Beach that afternoon, maybe to join a party. About 45 minutes after her shift ended, some co-workers spotted Kristen with an unknown blonde woman on the second floor of the Galleria. To this day, that woman remains a mystery, never coming forward or being identified. The final trace of Kristen Modafferi was captured by video surveillance as she withdrew cash from a Wells Fargo ATM. After this moment, she seemed to vanish without a trace. Modafferi missed her first day of photography class at UC Berkeley on June 24th, despite having already paid $925 for the course. Additionally, she left behind a $400 paycheck at Spinelli's, which remained unclaimed. Her roommates noted that Modafferi did not return home on the night of June 23rd, but they did not report her as missing. Several days later, after Modafferi's father left a voicemail on the house's landline, that one of her roommates returned the call. At that point, they disclosed to her father that nobody in the house had seen her for 3 days, sparking concern and raising the alarm about her sudden disappearance. Modafferi's parents flew to San Francisco on Friday, June 27th, and reported the Oakland Police Department that their daughter was missing. But the police didn't start looking into it until Monday, June 30th, because they thought she might have run away. The Modafferi family set a reward of $50,000 to anyone who could help find her, and they hired a private investigator. Police dogs followed Modafferi's smell to a bus she had taken, but they lost track of her scent near Sutro Heights Park. The investigation took a strange turn when Modafferi family found a Bay Guardian newspaper in Kristen's room with a personal ad circled. The ad was from someone looking for friends to do things like listen to music, take photos, exercise, go for walks, grab coffee, or hang out at the beach in the Bay Area. The police couldn't find the person who placed the ad because the newspaper had gotten rid of old issues for that week. There's no evidence that Kristen responded to the ad. On July 10, 1997, a man called KGO TV claiming that Kristen Modafferi had been killed by 2 women and her body dumped under a wooden bridge near Point Reyes. The caller, identified as John Onuma, 36, lived near the Galleria. Onuma later admitted he made up the story because he believed the women were plotting to get his girlfriend, Jill Lampo, fired from their workplace at the local YMCA. He insisted he didn't know Kristen. Police found a significant amount of blood in Onuma's apartment, but DNA testing showed it was from a cat. They also discovered that Onuma had placed personal ads seeking women in the Bay Area and pressured them into sexual encounters. Onuma moved back to Hawaii in 1999. The days turned into weeks, then months, then years. Despite extensive searches, interviews, and public appeals, no sign of Kristen was ever found. Theories swirled. Did she meet with foul play? Did she run away for some unknown reason? The lack of concrete evidence left investigators frustrated and heartbroken. Kristen's family never gave up hope. Her parents tirelessly searched for answers, appearing on national television shows and pleading for any information that could lead to their daughter. They clung to the possibility that she might still be alive, somewhere, somehow. In 2015, an independent search was conducted at the house where Kristen Modafferi had lived before she disappeared. During the search, a highly skilled cadaver dog signaled the presence of human remains in the basement. Paul Dosti, a former police sergeant who owned the dog, suggested that the Oakland police dig up a concrete slab in the basement and re-interview Modafferi's former roommates. In February 2017, Dr. Arpad Vass, a forensic anthropologist from the University of Tennessee, used a device he created to detect chemicals from human decomposition. The device indicated a spot between 274 Jane Avenue and the neighboring house, 278 Jane Avenue. Dosti believed these findings suggested a crime scene rather than a burial site because the basement floor was made of hard-packed clay, making it tough to dig. Additionally, a chemical indicating human blood was found near a concrete slab at the base of porch steps at the 278 Jane Avenue house. DNA testing confirmed that the decomposing material matched samples provided by Kristen's parents, Bob and Debbie Modafferi. In response to the findings of Dosti and Vass, the Oakland Police Department's public information officer, Felicia Aesthorpe, stated that their findings needed to be verified by the city police and claimed that the information hadn't been provided to the department yet. She mentioned, "At this time, the information we need from Dr. Vass to collect samples for his human decomposition testing has not been forwarded to the department. Additionally, no information regarding the more recent blood testing conducted on the porch has been disclosed to the department. However, Dosty and Vass refuted this, asserting that the Oakland Police Department had all the necessary data to conduct their own tests. Vass explained, "All OPD needs to do is bring their own dogs out to that site and see what happens." He further mentioned that Dosty had advised the police on how to search for human-specific compounds in soil samples using equipment readily available in crime labs. In 1999, Representative Sue Myrick introduced Kristen's Law, which was later signed into law by President Bill Clinton in 2000. Kristen's Law was named after Kristen Modafferi. Because Kristen was 18 years old when she went missing, there was a recognition of the limited resources available for searching for adults who go missing. Since its implementation in 2001, Kristen's Law has aimed to assist law enforcement and families in cases of missing persons aged 17 and older. It authorized $1 million per year to support organizations like the National Center for Missing Adults. However, federal funding for the center expired in 2005 when Kristen's Law lapsed, and it has since relied on volunteer efforts to continue its work. The case of Kristen Modafferi's disappearance continues to puzzle investigators and haunt those who knew her. It stands as a poignant reminder of how suddenly and completely someone can vanish, leaving behind only questions and uncertainty. Kristen's story serves as a sobering cautionary tale, highlighting the hidden dangers that can lurk in seemingly ordinary situations, particularly for young adults exploring new places and experiences. Her unresolved disappearance underscores the importance of staying vigilant and looking out for one another in a world where the unexpected can happen at any moment. Kristen's story is a call to action. It reminds us to be vigilant about our safety, especially in unfamiliar places. It also highlights the unwavering strength of families who refuse to give up hope. If you have any information, no matter how small, please come forward. Even a seemingly insignificant detail could be the key to solving this case. Share Kristen's story with your friends and family. Let's keep her memory alive and ensure her case doesn't fade away. The mystery of Kristen Modafferi continues. What do you think happened? Share your theories in the comments below. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and don't forget to hit the notification bell to stay updated on our latest videos.